All right. Yeah, Lindsay, as I mentioned, a lot of people may be trying to fly away, far away to sunny skies. But, today it's actually nice out there to get some things done that you need to get done ahead of the storm that's coming.
That's right. We've been talking about all the ways to prepare, making sure you have all of those supplies needed before the snow hits. And it does look like it's going to be right on schedule. With the latest information from the National Weather Service, the winter storm warning, it was extended to now include the Indianapolis metro just a couple of hours ago. And it was also pushed up a little bit because we're watching some colder air moving in a little bit earlier than earlier models anticipated. So that colder air will have a couple of impacts. First, we've got this warning that's going to go into effect along and north of the I-70 corridor starting at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and that runs through 1 o'clock in the morning early Friday on the system's backside. And then southern parts of the state where you see this purple highlight that includes Columbus, Greensburg, Shelbyville, that's still the winter storm watch, which will likely become a winter weather advisory as we get closer to the start of this event. Now, we've had some rain moving into the western part of the state so far today, but check out some of these temperatures. It's oddly mild at this point. That's because we're in the warm sector of this weather system, which is pushing that warmer air in. We're at 55 in Bedford, 55 in Nashville, 42 up in Kokomo where the snowpack is starting to melt, and we've got 53 here in the Indianapolis metro. We're going to keep it cloudy for the evening drive home as those rain showers continue to push in from the west as temperatures drop out of the 50s back into the 40s. But I'm really not anticipating this becoming much of a concern until we get into the late evening and overnight, especially to the northern tier of the state. And that puts us into Wednesday. You'll notice the warmest part of our day going to happen earlier on, and then temperatures will fall, and that's when we'll see that transition from rain eventually into snow here in the metro area and really across the state. So let's time all this out. We're going to start here at noon today, and then as we roll through the afternoon, notice that this rain's going to filter in across the northwestern part of the state first. This is at 5 p.m. We'll advance this through the overnight, pausing right around 2 o'clock in the morning. Colder air already going to change this over from Lafayette to Peru to the snow form areas northwest, and we're already going to start to see snowfall accumulating there. Now we get into our Wednesday morning. Still looks like temperatures are going to be warm enough to keep this all rain through the morning rush hour, so really not a lot of impacts through tomorrow morning for most of us. Indianapolis south, but keep in mind it's already going to start to be messy, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some school delays and closures coming in across the northern tier of the state. Colder air continues to take over. This is at noon tomorrow, so when we talk 24 hours from now, we'll start to see that transition from rain to a wintry mix with sleet and some freezing rain here in the metro, and that's going to be the trend through the course of the afternoon. Then as we get into about 7 p.m., that's when that snow is going to start to become our primary precip type here in the city, with that wintry mix continuing to areas south. And as I mentioned, we're already going to see a lot of snowfall accumulation by the time we get into the 7 o'clock hour and the snow starts in Indy. There are places just to the north of Lafayette, Logansport, even northwestern Indiana, where we already pick up nearly 10 inches of snowfall by 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Let's pick this back up and go through the overnight. As this colder air continues to take back over, this becomes a widespread snow event. This is through 7 a.m. Thursday, and this is when the roads are going to really start to become impassable in some places. Very difficult travel as the heavy snow bands really set up here early Thursday morning. And then even southern Indiana, this becomes an all snow event for us getting into the afternoon on Thursday. Snow is going to be likely, and this is when we see the highest travel impacts during the course of the day Thursday before this all wraps up. But even once the snow moves out 7 p.m. on Thursday, we're going to see the winds increasing, and that's what's going to create some drifting and blowing snow, lowering visibility, and just making the travel treacherous for most of the state. So still going to feel impacts of this even when the snow moves out after about 7 p.m. on Thursday. Here's the latest snowfall potential, and this does look different from what you saw earlier this morning, and that's because that colder air is really starting to win out. That means less of an ice threat, but also higher snowfall totals. Northern Indiana, northwestern parts of the state, looks like the bullseye here with 15 plus inches possible. Our friends in Lafayette up to Peru, Kokomo, you're in that foot possibility zone. And then for us here in the metro along the I-70 corridor, 8 to 12 inches, and then just south, still looking at 5 to 8 inches from Bloomington down to Columbus with that potential of an ice glaze. And then southern Indiana, the lower totals, but again, ice is still going to be an issue there. Impacts will be the highest across northern Indiana, obviously obviously because of highest snowfall threat there. Keep that in mind. Temperatures going to continue to drop. We'll be near 27 for a high on Thursday, 10 on Friday. Still feeling the impacts of those icy roads, and then a bitter start, 2 below on Saturday.